Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute since y'all last seen me. Last time you saw me, we were in Ohio on the season. I ended up harvesting a good buck, and then I told y'all we were going to be jumping back in it and chasing does. Well, I've spent the last few real days chasing does on there, and I had one opportunity, completely messed up on it, and then I just had a breaking point with that game, and I was like, you know what, I'm switching up hunting games, and here we are now. We're currently setting in the Hunter Classic. I have a lot of videos that I plan on doing that's going to be focused on mostly missions eventually, but just every once in a while I'll probably go out and just have some fun and shoot something. But a lot of this is going to be focusing around a lot of new players or some of you that's been playing for a while and just want some tips and tricks and stuff like that. I'm going to show you all the rope on how I've made it to where I'm at with only 20 real dollars that you don't have to spend on Classic. I just did from a long time ago when I first started playing. So in this video I'll be showing you all the routes that I took to get to where I'm at and some things that I'd probably do a little different than what I did when I first started playing. As I went on, started learning the game, learning how the animals paid off and stuff like that, and having the knowledge that I know now, I'll show you all a route that I would personally take if I'm a new player to Classic. So I do currently, as of right now, I own one of every weapon in the game. I might not own that particular weapon skin, but I do own that weapon, and that goes for rifles, that goes for handguns, shotguns, the whole nine. I know a lot of y'all saying, well, you don't own this or this or this, yada yada yada, but I do. I just own it in a different weapon skin than the rest. Bows, same way. I got the bows, I got the muzzleloaders, the whole nine. I got all the clothing in the game for the maps that I personally hunt on. Some maps I don't have the clothing on, but I rarely visit those maps, so I don't care to own it as of right now. Eventually I'm sure I'll get around to buy them. I own all the sights in the game, from the handguns. Like this is the same exact scope, just one's silver, the other one's black. Shotguns, muzzleloaders, whole nine. And I also own trophy lodges in the game. I have vehicles, dogs, I have a retriever, and I also have, which is, right here, and then I have I do not have a scent hound yet, but I don't care to own one, honestly, but I do have the German pointer. So if I could go back and start playing the Classic all over again from day one, from scratch, knowing everything I know now, when it comes to daily missions, as y'all can see, I have broken my daily streak. I was at like, I don't know, 60 some days. They had me doing some crazy stuff, and the payoff was very little. Now, if y'all wanted to, you could do daily mission streaks and stuff like that, and you do win prizes, but it's way down the road before you start winning some good stuff. Like they have rifles and stuff like that you can possibly win from the daily streaks, but it won't be until you're in the thousands and just crazy stuff like that. But this is what we're going to focus on now. This is, go to your regular mission set. As you can see, I got 404 of 692. My goal is to finish all 692, not in a particular time. I mean, I really don't care if I get them done or not, because at this point I have everything in the Classic. Everything else is just showboating at this point. Believe it or not, at one point I have reset these whole entire mission set. I was at like 611 before I did a mission set reset. And if you go down here to services, for 13,600 gems you can reset your mission sets. For that much you can do a mission reset and then just redo the missions all over again. For you new players, what I would do is, some of these missions are going to be requiring you to use a particular weapon, such as the white-tailed deer. Your very last mission is going to be for 3,800 gems, and you're going to be needing these weapons here. If you don't have a friend that can help you, or you join a multiplayer and asking people and they won't help you, I would personally leave it alone. Go in and start doing like travel missions, just missions that you're able to do and hunt other animals that your rifle is allowed to hunt. If you go into your store, you go to your ammo, a lot of you are going to be starting with the 243. So we'll go into the 243 ammo, and this right here will show you every animal that you can hunt with that particular ammo. So just look at the ammo and figure out what animals, and then go and do the mission sets for those animals if all you have is a 243. Another thing a lot of you new players might miss is that you also start with the single shot 12 gauge, but what you don't understand is the 12 gauge slugs, you can pretty much hunt everything in the game beside. Can you do water buffalo? No. So like water buffalo and stuff like that, you can't shoot, but you can hunt elk and pretty much everything in the game but a water buffalo and some of the smaller animals. If you go to the buckshot for the 12 gauge, then you'll be able to use this is 10 gauge, but if we go to the 12 gauge buckshot, now you can hunt the foxes and coyotes and stuff like that. If we go into the bird shot, now you can hunt the birds, the rabbits, and all the smaller species, pheasants and stuff like that. So that 12 gauge shotgun, the single shot, that's a big help for what your 243 can't cover. The only animal you won't be able to shoot, like I said, regardless, would be a water buffalo, but that's fine because if you get bow, you're good to go. So something I'm going to do that other content creators never did was I'll give you a recommendation for the weapons that I would personally start off with in Classic that you're going to be needing for missions at some point, and just all around really good weapons. So if we come down here, as y'all can see, for $8,500 you can buy this 308. I would recommend getting this rifle because eventually you will need it for some of your missions, hog missions and stuff like that. You are going to need this rifle, and it's all around a great rifle for deer and everything. You can't hunt water buffalo with it, but you can dang near kill everything. If you wanted to, you could go with a 9.3, but you're really not going to be using it as much. This one you're definitely going to be needing, so that right there would cover your rifle. Handguns, one that you're going to be using a lot, well, you're going to be needing at least two of them eventually. 454 for sure, and the 357 are your top two. I would work on getting them to eventually. And shotguns, really when it comes to the shotgun missions, your single shot can do, but eventually when you do get enough, I would honestly go with the 12 gauge pump. It's only 6,000 or 7,650, and I still use this pump to this day, even after I've pretty much officially beat the Hunter Classic and own everything in it. I still use that shotgun. When it comes to bows, the best bow in the game, hands down, and you will be needing for missions, is the snakebite compound. It's, I'm pretty sure, the cheapest one also, and it's the best one in the game. I use this bow all the time. You'll always see me carrying it, and in upcoming future videos, you're going to be seeing this bow a lot. Sometimes I may break out like these ones here, or maybe even a crossbow once in a while, but the majority of the time, y'all will see me carrying that. The muzzleloaders and stuff like that and the advanced firearms I wouldn't worry about, but those ones that I just mentioned, those are the weapons that I would definitely try and knock out first. But the first weapon that I would personally buy would be the snakebite bow. That would be the first purchase that I make. I'd keep the 243 and the shotgun and get this. So a lot of you are probably thinking, when I go down here and it says the 3,600, you're thinking, man, you're doing all that just for 3,600? No, it all adds up. So this one's for 200, this one's for 300, this one's for 4, 6, yada yada yada. This all adds up. This particular mission set would be around 10 grand. This one, and any of them that has 10 missions to do is right around 10,000 gems per mission set. And if you look, most of your guns are 10,200. I just wish back in the day I would have known all this. I'm about to show you all a route that I took when I first started playing Classic. I do not really recommend it, but I guess if you wanted to just say forget the missions and work on it this way, you definitely could. And believe it or not, it does add up, and in my opinion, it's a pretty fun way. So when we come over here, we have our maps. We're going to be going to Hemedale, wherever it's at, right here. There's a particular species in this map, and I happened to just stumble across them one day hunting, and that is the willow Ptarmigan. They're birds. I found tons of them, and I'll never forget, I shot one and I got like 60 gems for it. And as most of you know, that's your average buck, a good sized whitetail buck, and they're super hard to hunt. These birds, I was finding dozens of them. So I decided to break out the old single shot, and what we're going to do is we're going to head on up in here today, and I'll show you all kind of an example on what I done. Alrighty, y'all, we finally made it up this mountain. Now, if y'all's coming and looking for willow Ptarmigan, and like I said, I do not recommend this strategy. I did take this strategy and it did get me a lot of stuff in the game, but it took some time. But I will be going over sometimes when you could rack in a lot of money and all that here in a second. But anywho, Ptarmigan can be found all the way up through here and right back down through here. This is your biggest hotspot in this whole entire map for Ptarmigan. You will sometimes get them up here, maybe even over in here. This is mostly lynx in this area. Red fox and roe deer can be found all up through here. Your main focus is hunt these willow Ptarmigan right here. So when it comes to locating them, as y'all can see, I have my dog with me, but back when I started, of course, you know, I didn't. All I have was this old trusty dusty single shot. But these birds make like a little laughing chatter, and you can also hear their wing beats. And I actually hear some over here on the right somewhere. So I want to just kind of let the audio pick up for y'all, and hopefully with the enhance y'all can hear. So hopefully y'all's hearing that little chatter, and there's also some wing beats going on down there in that bottom. So that is what the willow Ptarmigan sound like. It actually sounds like one of these birds are flying right up towards me. Oh, most definitely. So we're just going to hold tight right here. Yep, here he comes. Oh, that was a big miss. We got him. Looks like a bear running back there. Anywho, hey, we got our first Ptarmigan down. But this is what I used to do. And sometimes they would fly right at you like that. Randomly, at random times, you would just be walking and it would get them. But your main focus when you're looking for these is, if you have binoculars, use them. When you hear the chatter, find them. See where they're sitting on the ground, mark it. And go over there. And if you're in a, what we refer to as nest, there's no really good word for it, but we call it a nest, you're going to see a bunch of tracks. And the birds will spook off, don't get me wrong. They're going to fly off and go wherever. But what you can do is get right in the middle of all of them and just set. Give it 2 real minutes. Set for real 2 minutes. If a bird doesn't fly back to you, then you're not in the nest. Get up and move. But eventually what's going to happen, if you hunt them enough, you're going to find a nest of them. And you're going to sit there, and if there's 30 birds in there, 30 birds will fly back, and you will kill all 30 birds. And if you're getting 40 to 50 GM per bird, just imagine, you know, and you're only sitting there for sometimes a minute. It just depends on how long it takes, but no more than 2 minutes. I'm going to say a minute. It won't take them no more than a minute to fly back into your little area. And like I said, there was a bird right there. But like I said, oh, there's a bunch of them. A whole pile of them. But like right there, a lot of times you all will be watching them and they'll be flying like that, and if you just watch them, you'll see them go to a spot on the map or a little area like and land, and then just mark that spot, go in there, try to shoot what you can on flush, and then just set. And if you're in the nest, you will know, because I guarantee you within a minute all them birds are going to be flying at you. Shoot one, don't move, just sit there. And I hear another bird over the hill to our right. But let's just pick this one up and get an idea. It's a 0.6 score. That's going to give us 36. It's actually kind of a small female, honestly. But nonetheless, really good payout. That's decent payout, especially compared to deer hunting. But like I said, when it comes to these, if you are to take this strategy, go look for the nest. Try not to waste your time chasing the birds, because you're gonna be for a while. So what I would have done personally, if I was back in the day when I was actually trying to hunt these birds heavy, I would have got up here where I can get a vantage point and just keep my eyes on them. And as soon as I seen them land somewhere, I would go in that spot, flush them, shoot them, and then just wait on them to come back. And I'm telling y'all, eventually you would make a lot of money. So the second purchase that I made in Classic, and I know for 100% sure, was this rifle right here. I got tired of the old chasing them around and all this stuff, and I thought, man, you know, they were so far off, I could just sit there and pick them off with this 17 and make triple money and not have to wait and all that, which helped a ton when I purchased this 17. Didn't bring a scope for it, unfortunately. Do have a tent on me though. So the 17 was game changer for me. You could go with the 22 or the 17 for this. And like I said, I would shoot a bunch of these birds and they would have no clue what was going on, especially when they were way, way off on another hillside or something. Especially if I'd get lucky and be able to just spot them. Let's say I'm here and they're way up there or way over in there. They wouldn't know what's going on. So you could just sit back and pick 13 birds, however many's in that group, until you had them all dead. And then go over and recover 500-600 gems, and then listen for the little laughs and go after more birds. So like I said, this is the way that I took, and I purchased a lot of weapons from doing this, but it did take some time. Some days I'd do good and get a lot of money fast, but the majority of the time, had I just been doing missions, I believe honestly I could have cut my time half and made way more money. So my dog's on point right here, but I don't know where this bird's at. Oh, don't move. There are a bunch of them flying right at me. This one in the front looks to be a big male. He's got a red head on him. He's going to pay a lot. They saw me, y'all. Moved too much. There's one right here. So we're going to go ahead and flush him real quick. Knock him down with the old trusty rusty. Get the 17 out, because a lot of times this would happen too. You'd just be walking around and then you'd scare them. They'll run a little bit. Oh, he didn't even run. So then what I'd do is just bang, pop him. And then I know another one landed, but it probably ran a little ways before it stopped. But anywho, y'all's pretty much hopefully getting the point. Yeah, there's that the one I just killed. It's the one I just shot. Y'all's pretty much getting the point. The only thing I could set in here and wait and show you all would be the nest, quote unquote. But like I said, it's just literally an area that you see a bunch of them landed at, and when you get there you'll know, because there's going to be tons of tracks that's going to say willow Ptarmigan, and the birds would be there when you get there. And like I said, when you find a hot spot like that, you can rack a munch, and the hunting for them can be so much fun when you find that. And that goes for all the species of Ptarmigan, whether it's willow, rock, or white-tailed Ptarmigan. They all have their little nesting area. But once you do kill all them, or some occasions, one bird might not return, but the majority of the time, you're literally going to kill them all, but maybe two. Seems like sometimes this, once you get down to the last two in that group, sometimes they do move out of the area and go somewhere else. But I can guarantee you, if there's 8 birds there, you will come out with 6 of them if you can hit them. Anywho, I do hear some chattering way over in that direction somewhere, but don't have any eyes on them. I'm not really going to waste a whole bunch of time trying to find them when we're going to be hunting. Oh, there's one right there. Just going to here and flush him with a shotgun and shoot him, and then we're going to head to the last part of this video, y'all. And I'm pretty much going to resum everything. I'm sorry if everything seems like it's all over the place. This is by far the hardest video I've ever made on this channel, literally. Just because there's so much to talk about, but I'm trying to keep it short, kind of, in a way, for y'all. Where'd he go? Nice. Oh, 2. Nice. So 2 for 2 right there. Yeah. I love hunting these things. These things are so much fun. It's been a long time since I've come up in here chasing them. Big 0.6 male. 640. I actually needed him for my last Ptarmigan mission, I'm pretty sure. Had to be under 20 meters. And y'all don't understand how many hours I spent on that mission. This wasn't even that long ago. I'm talking about days, not even hours. I spent days trying to get that mission. No, it had to be 700 or higher under 20. I spent freaking forever on that mission. I finally got it though. And the other one fell right around in here, so we're gonna go ahead and pick him up. Oh, big female, 0.7, so she'll score 7 something. Oh, almost 7. As you can see, 40 gems. I'm not in freaking multiplayer, so I should have been paying attention to what it was paying me. But like I said, on average, you're going to be getting 40 to 50 gems, sometimes 30 for really small ones. But the majority of the time, y'all can expect 50 gems per bird. Alright, y'all, before we do the last part of this video, which is the biggest part of the whole entire video, I just want to recap everything that I've sort of went over. The steps that I'd take if I was a new player and I just started playing Classic and knowing everything that I know now. Obviously, like I've said, start with doing the missions. Take them down as far as you possibly can. And if by chance you're just not able to get a hold of that particular firearm and you don't have enough gems at the time to purchase it to continue the mission set, switch off of it and go to a new one. I mean, there's plenty of missions here and there's plenty of gems to be made. I'm sure a lot of you probably ain't going to be chasing buffalo and stuff like that right out the gate. You're probably going to be chasing just smaller animals such as fox, coyotes, bobcats, stuff like that, which you will be needing this handgun here. So I would just go ahead and get with the 357, and then when it comes to the bow, definitely the snake bite. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's the best bow in the game. Let's say you got all 3 of them. What you can then do to set yourself up in Classic for the rest of the remainder of the time. When it comes to gems, I still do missions and stuff just because, I don't know, just for something to do, I guess. But I really don't have to, because there's one purchase in this game that you're going to make that will literally set you up for good. If we come over here in the store, we go down to large equipment. As y'all can see, there are water blinds. You all need the tropical forest. I mean, any of these will work. I currently using this one right here, but like this one would work, whatever. But you need the tropical, and then when we come over to see here, lures, collars, you're going to need the magpie lure, or, in my opinion, just to save a little bit, I would go with the magpie long range and the magpie short range collar. These two right here. And then eventually I would go ahead and go with the lure. Then we're going to come into decoys, and you're going to need magpie decoys. I currently only hunt over 21 decoys. It takes 24 to make a complete setup to break off a lot of the birds. But what I'm using now completely works, I'm telling y'all. And if y'all's thinking, man, you know what I mean, that's a whole lot, like they're 1,700 a piece, that's fine. Because I'm here to tell you all from experience, even without the water blind, it works. All you need is 3 decoys, the 2 calls that I showed you, and you can get birds to break. Having these will definitely help a lot more in even having that blind. But just starting out, just to get you started, I would honestly go with at least 3 decoys, the ground blind, the 2 calls, and that right there will get you all started hunting magpie geese. When it comes to a setup, y'all can set anywhere up through here. There's birds all over. But this I have found, and I've hunted all these places from the beach to here. This spot right here has been the best spot for magpie geese I have ever came across in my entire life. There's so many birds that fly through here and stuff. So when it comes to the magpie geese, and the reason why I highly recommend it instead of continuing the mission set once you get a few weapons under your belt and stuff, and the shotgun and stuff, I recommend these so much because they pay so good. You can make literally 50 to sometimes 90, but on average 30 and above, and you can break flock after flock after flock with the amount of decoys I have, which I don't even have a full setup. But I've also broke big flocks without a blind, with only a call, a short range call, long range call, and just a single shot shotgun. Or maybe back then I had a pump, I think, when I started hunting these and stuff like that. And I was literally just laying on the ground breaking them and having them fly right over me. So what I typically always do is I start at 5 in the morning and I always hunt until 9 in the morning, and then I just restart my session. But this right here is when you officially made it. What you can do is you can kick back, play on your phone the whole nine, and just wait until you hear birds and then start breaking them and shooting them. And I've done that, and I've literally just sat back, did whatever I wanted to, cranked my TV up when I heard birds flying over, ran over to the computer, started blasting, picked up whatever I killed, and then just went back to doing whatever. And I'm telling y'all, give it an hour and I can guarantee you will have within an hour 1,000 gems. If you hit every one of the birds you're breaking, I can guarantee you'll have 1,000 gems within an hour. And if the birds are flying a little extra good within a half hour, you're going to have 1,000 gems, and you're literally not doing anything. You're just watching TV or whatever, watching a movie, and you just hear the birds on the computer going crazy, and you just run over and shoot them. Now, to some of y'all, I mean, that might sound boring and whatnot, but if you don't want to grind mission sets all the time, this is hands down the best. Look, I mean, I broke them already, y'all, and I never even made a call, but like I said, that's probably the mojo doing the work, because that's not going to happen when y'all's got 3 decoys. Not often. It may. And as you can see, these 2 birds in the front are giant birds, so I know them's both big males, so I'm definitely going for them first. Kind of high right now, but I know my shotgun, and I know it's very hard for me to miss. And then after a while of you doing this, what you can do is you can purchase the, I want to say the 17. I don't know if the 22 kills them or not. Y'all have to check. Yeah, the 22 works. Yeah, so I'd purchase like the 22 or even the 17. So that way when they get way out there, you can just continue to pluck them and make sure you're getting all that money that you possibly can. But just to give you an idea, that was the first 20 seconds of the hunt. I won't even edit anything really. 3.4, and as you can see, 61 gems, and that wasn't even a big male. That was just your average size male, 60 gems. And I think this one looked to be a lot bigger than that one. No, he's a little bit smaller, and 52 gems. There's 100 gems right there, and I'll give you an exact amount. 112 gems, just off the 2 birds. And I'm telling y'all, it's literally as simple as that. The females, they don't pay that good. That's the reason why I always try to go for the males. But again, 20 gems, really can't complain when you're just sitting back doing, kicking your feet back and doing whatever. 30 gems for her. She was another baby female. Let's see if we can't break some of these ones. But like I said, them's the exact steps in the Hunter Classic that I would take. I'm sorry if the video kind of seemed everywhere. I tried to explain it the best way I could for you all. Those are personally the steps that if I could go back, this right here would have been my main goal right here, is to buy this setup. I would have had a lot of stuff in Hunter Classic a lot faster. But when I ended up getting this set up, and as time went on, I just slowly kept taking the money I was getting from the birds and stuff, and just slowly building my setup as time went on. And then outlook, I mean, I got a dang near full setup, and it works fine. I don't care to buy any more decoys for it. I definitely killed plenty of birds out of this thing. So hopefully this might help a lot of y'all that's getting into the Hunter Classic, or maybe just loading it up for the first time because y'all found this video. Them's the exact steps I'd take. And like I said, I mean, there's a lot of different ways in the Classic you can make money. If you wanted, you don't have to buy this setup and stuff, but this is definitely a spot to where you can just kick your feet back and relax. And honestly, in the beginning of hunting these magpie geese, when all you have is just 3 or 4 decoys and a couple calls and no blind, that stuff's fun. Especially when you finally get them to break and start breaking and all that. Like, it can be a ton of fun. But again, I'll go ahead and show you all on the map, even better close up. It's this area right here. Coordinates are 7048X and Y 7876. Oh, I guess it's 70747906. A lot of y'all, when you start out, you're not going to have a tent, so then you're going to have to run all the way down and around just to get to this spot. So what I would honestly do is I'd hunt right here in front of this outpost. There's a big island right here. There's a lot of birds. I remember hunting back in here a long time ago. I'm talking about 2.5 years ago. When I was working on my setups and building myself up in Classic, I hunted all right in here. Right here is another good area. There's a nice little island that comes out. I think it's right here. That's another good spot. So depending on what YouTube videos that y'all watch out there, I've seen everyone that's a little mixed. Some people just say go straight for the magpie geese setup. Some people say go for, missions only. But telling you, the way that I just showed y'all, in my opinion, is the best way. And eventually you are going to work your way up and have all those weapons in the game. This game is just so much fun once you get a bunch of the stuff. I got setups on a bunch of the maps and tents and just everything, and this is how I got it. Just doing missions once in a while and then jumping in here and hunting some magpies when I didn't feel like running around the maps and chasing animals all over the place. But hopefully that helps some of y'all out there. If y'all did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If y'all didn't like the video, you can go ahead and hit thumbs down or leave me a comment below. And if y'all have any better suggestions or anything, drop them in the comments and let people see them and stuff like that. I'm just here to help people and hopefully get them into an absolute awesome game. When you're first playing, this game's not as a whole lot of fun unless you get into a multiplayer lobby with people with setups for birds and stuff. But once you're the host and you own all of it, it's just a whole different ball game. Let me see, I can't break him. He's just a solo. A lot of these solo birds, even with a full setup, they can be a hard head. Even some of the flocks will just continue to fly. They're not all going to break, but sometimes you can coach them to fly in. I hear some more birds. I just don't know where they're at. I broke him. He actually put out a call too. So I'm not sure what the next Hunter Classic video is going to be yet. I ain't really decided. I think I'm going to do some mission sets and put them out there for y'all to watch. See if we can fall in the blind. Oh, almost. That looked to be just a small female. Yeah, baby female. I mean a baby female. I should have gotten a competition with that one, y'all. This might be the smallest one I've ever freaking killed in this whole entire game. But with that being said, this has been your host Trey with Huntfish Outdoors Gaming, and I hope to see y'all on the next one.